Congratulations, you just turned $2.5 million of military-grade carbon fiber into a very expensive pile of smoking dust because a 22-year-old in a fireproof jumpsuit tried to take a corner at 190 miles an hour while screaming about his front tires on the radio. Welcome to Formula 1, the only sport on planet Earth where billionaires line up to voluntarily incinerate their own net worth, like they're trying to summon an ancient demon of bad financial decisions. Now, if you have more than 2 brain cells firing in your skull, you're probably asking, why would any sane human being spend $150 million a year just to watch 4 guys in red pajamas swap rubber tires in 2 seconds? Well, sit down, shut up, and grab your juice box because the answer involves systemic corruption, tax evasion disguised as athleticism, and a scandal involving $7 million worth of catering sandwiches. Let me explain. Okay, so let's say you're a fresh new billionaire. Maybe you made a few hundred mils selling a crypto token that does literally nothing, or an app that puts anime eyes on people's dogs. You're feeling confident. You throw on your best jacket, walk up to the FIA, the old French guys who run Formula 1, and you go, "Hey fellas, I have $200 million, I'd like to buy one Formula 1 team please." And the FIA looks at your bank account, looks back up at you, and goes, No, sweetie. Get out of our hotel lobby before we have you arrested, which, fair enough, I guess. See, F1 has a rule called the anti-dilution fee. Just for the privilege of building a car and putting your name on the garage door, you have to pay a flat $200 million entry fee. You don't get a car for that money. You don't get a building. You don't even get a free t-shirt. It's literally just a massive extortion check that gets handed directly to the existing 10 teams so they don't cry about having to split their TV money with you. And recently, the team bosses got together and went, you know what? 200 million is too cheap. Let's make it 600 million. $600 million. Just to show up, that's like paying 50 grand to buy a ticket to enter a Walmart. Only to realize you still have to buy your own groceries, and also the cashier gets to slap you in the face on the way out. So nobody builds a team from scratch anymore. Instead, billionaires just wait for an existing team to go bankrupt, which happens constantly, and scavenge it like vultures on a highway. So you bought a bankrupt team. Fantastic. Now comes the fun part. Watching your bank account suffer a horrific slow-motion disembowelment. Running a middle-of-the-pack F1 team costs about $150 to $250 million every single year. Where does all that money go? Well, let's look at the expense report from hell. First, the drivers. You gotta pay some Dutch guy or a British guy $40 to $50 million a year to sit in a tiny carbon fiber bathtub and drive in circles. And what do you get for 50 million bucks? My tires are dead, mate. Shut up. Lewis, you've been driving for 4 minutes. My Honda Civic has had the same tire since 2016, and the wires are barely showing. Second, the engineers. You don't hire Dave from the local oil change shop. You hire a literal army of 800 socially awkward aerodynamics nerds with PhDs in aerospace engineering. You build a $60 million wind tunnel that consumes more electricity than a medium-sized European nation. Also, these guys can design a tiny piece of plastic on the front wing that makes the car 0.002 seconds faster, which doesn't matter anyway because your driver immediately spins out on lap 2. Which brings me to the demolition crew. Gentlemen, meet Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. In the paddock, these guys aren't drivers, they're localized natural disasters. If you hire a driver who treats concrete barriers like a long-lost relative, your wallet is cooked. A single front wing costs $150,000. To put that in perspective, for the cost of one F1 front wing, you could buy 15 brand new Toyota Corollas, drive them all off a cliff into the ocean, and still have enough money left over for a large pepperoni pizza. And the steering wheel alone, which looks like a PlayStation controller got violently merged with a jet cockpit, costs 50 grand, $50,000 for a wheel. If I drop 50 grand on a wheel, that thing better perform open heart surgery on me while I drive. When your driver bins it into the wall at Monaco, that's $3 million gone before your coffee even gets cold. So by 2021, the FIA realized that 3 mega teams, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, were just dumping $500 million a year into their cars and completely obliterating everyone else. So they introduced the cost cap. The rule was simple. Nobody is allowed to spend more than $135 million a year on their car. Keep it fair, keep it clean. Now, if you tell a bunch of ultra-competitive, morally flexible billionaires they can't spend money, do you think they stop spending money? Absolutely not. They just fire their engineers and hire shadier accountants, which brings us to the 2022 Red Bull scandal. Word leaked out that Red Bull broke the budget cap. People were losing their minds. Fans were arguing on Twitter, did they build an illegal rocket engine? Did they hide secret lightweight parts under the car? And Red Bull's team principal looked the investigators dead in the eyes and went, no guys, we didn't cheat on the car. car. We just spent $7 million extra on catering. The team really likes luxury sandwiches at lunch. I'm not making this up. The official excuse for violating a global sports financial cap was $7 million of hyper-expensive lunch meat. Do you know how many sandwiches $7 million buys? That is literally 1 million Subway footlongs. If Red Bull actually ate $7 million of sandwiches, their mechanics wouldn't even fit inside the pit lane. Did the FIA strip their championship away? Of course not. They gave them a fine, told them not to eat so many sandwiches next time, and everybody went back to lying on their tax forms. Beautiful. Okay, so at this point in the video, you're probably sitting there thinking, wait, if you pay $500 million to get in, spend $200 million a year, pay 50 grand for a steering wheel, and your drivers crash every 3 weeks, how is this a business? Why doesn't everyone go broke? Welcome to the punchline.
Formula One teams are not sports.
They are 200-mile-an-hour billboards for tax havens, crypto schemes, energy drinks, and offshore banks. Look at a modern F1 car. There isn't a single square inch of blank paint on that thing. You want your company logo on the front wing of a Ferrari? $40 million. You want a tiny sticker on the driver's left shoulder? $5 million. If a billionaire wants his son's face printed on the side pod, that's $30 million and a guaranteed seat in the car. Then you have prize money and TV rights. F1 pulls in billions from broadcasting deals with ESPN and Sky. The team that wins the championship gets about $140 million bucks. Even the team that finishes last gets about $60 million just for putting on a helmet and trying their best. And then the ultimate plot twist happened. Netflix before 2019. F1 was watched almost exclusively by 60-year-old European men who fell asleep on the couch after 3 laps. Then Netflix dropped Drive to Survive. They edited the footage, added dramatic bass drops every time someone blinked, and suddenly millions of American teenagers and tech bros became utterly addicted to watching 2 European men yell at each other over a pit stop mistake. Viewership blew up, sponsor money tripled, and team valuations went into orbit. In 2017, you could buy a dying team like Williams for about $100 million today. The worst, most embarrassing, slowest team on the grid is worth at least $1 billion. Ferrari's team is worth over $3 billion. So even if you lose $20 million a year operational cash, the overall value of your team increases by $200 million a year while you sleep. And here's the dirty little secret that billionaires won't tell you. When an F1 team loses $20 million on paper, the owner uses that loss to write off the taxes on their other mega corporations. They are literally using a 200-mile-an-hour carbon fiber race car as a giant tax loophole. You're not losing money. You're riding a giant carbon fiber money elevator to the moon. So let's wrap this up before my microphone overheats. You pay $200 million just to sit down. You burn $200 million a year paying nerds to tweak winglets and buying your driver $50,000 steering wheels. You cheat the rules by claiming $7 million in sandwich expenses, and at the end of 5 years, you sell the team for 3 times what you paid. Because some kids on Netflix like the sound of the engines. Is it psychotic? 100%. Is it capitalism in its purest, most ridiculous form? You bet. Will billionaires ever stop doing it? Man, they'd starve before they gave up their garage passes. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe, or else Toto Wolf is going to track your IP address and smash your headphones into concrete. Go check out my video on BlackRock or Football Club economics next.